Noch ein Bier bitte! Willkommen zu Pint Sized! Welcome to Beer Geek, Part 2. Today we're going to talk about the Munich Big Six breweries, and it'll lead us nicely into Part 3, Oktoberfest. To help us trundle through this mire of Munich mumblings, we've got a bottle of Franziskaner weissbier. You've probably seen this in every supermarket you've been to. It's one of the most widely available yet best loved weissbiers around. I'm not sure about where you live, but as I said, this beer is readily available in most UK supermarkets and beer shops, although I rarely have it. And that's a good story. Yeah, well done. It's a top fermented Hefeweizen beer with a large proportion of wheat relative to barley, making it light coloured and with big flavours of clove and banana. A Hefeweizen is a Bavarian beer style harking back to the general Weisse beer style. The name Hefeweizen translates to yeast wheat and refers to the unfiltered, cloudy nature of the beer, compared to its sister Kristallweizen, which translates to Kristen Wig. There goes a Franziskaner Weissbier label. You're probably very familiar with it. Yeah, it's super cloudy. 5%, 500ml bottle. Little Munkus, he's holding some sort of bread cat. Now I've been warned about the head. Oh my god. Yeah, I was reading a lot online about the explosive head of this beer. I mean, that's fantastic. That's what a wheat beer head should be. I can smell that yeasty sweetness from here. It's brilliant. It's stinky. It's a nice sort of cloudy golden colour. Yeah, as I said, I can smell the banana, the clove, that yeasty sweetness. It smells brilliant. It's so banana-y. Whoa, yeah! Okay, I'm slightly... This has got to be one of my favourite beer styles. You get that banana, but you don't get that banana artificial sweetness. It's kind of like a chalky, tiny bit acidic, like you get from like a Royal Gala apple or a pear. It's a really lovely wheaty finish. I've got a lingering banana in my mouth. Need to get it out, it's too big. Probably my favourite thing about this is the fact it's so readily available. You can go to a supermarket and think, do I try something new or do I go with Grolsch? And you can pick this up and you know it's going to be one of the best Hefeweizens in the world. Okay, so Munich. It's where stuff like this and this happen. And I was very tempted to make the thumbnail of this video this, because that would get many clicks. But I'm not about the clicks. I'm all about the bass. It's truly one of my favourite European cities, for 6 reasons. The last century began with around 25 or so, sort of half a dozen breweries operating in Munich, and now there's only 6, either through shutdowns or takeovers or mergers. I like to think I'm relatively good at pronouncing German words, and you probably think that this word is pronounced Brau, which it kind of is, except for in Bavaria, as far as I know, it's pronounced Bräu. So we're going to start off with my favourite Munich brewery, one of my favourite breweries in the world, by royal appointment, Hofbräu. Hofbräu was founded by Duke Wilhelm V in 1589 as a way to supply the royal court with modest amounts of beer. He moved the brewery to Munich from the town of Einbeck, which made the people in Einbeck mega aggy. They missed their beer, so the Duke produced a Bock, originally called an Einbock, using the original Einbeck recipe. This was the first Bock beer style, which we're going to cover in a future German Beer Geek, all about the different types of beer. Yeah, so this was the first official Bock style, and it maintained Bock exclusivity for the next 200 years. In 1939, the brewery became state-owned, and the crown on the HB logo is a reminder of its regal roots. Since World War II, when American soldiers brought back HB branded glasses, the Hofbräu House has been one of the major tourist attractions in the whole of Germany. They're also famous for their massive Oktoberfest Hofbräu tent, when a few years ago they recorded 500,000 litres of beer being drunk, along with 70,000 roast chickens being drunk, because they blend chickens in Germany, they don't. Next one, everyone probably knows it, Löwenbräu. In 1324, there's a record of a brewery existing in a house on 17 Löwenbrugger Straße. And a pub called Zur Löwen was serving up beers by 1383, with the first bottles of Löwenbräu crossing the Bavarian border around the mid-19th century. In 1921 they merged with Unionsbräu and Bürgerbräu, which gave Löwenbräu many more properties around the cities, including this one, the Bürgerbräu Keller. This is where in 1923 Adolf Hitler staged his beer hall putsch, his failed coup attempt against the government in Bavaria at the state's capital, Munich. Stupid Hitler. In 1997, Löwenbräu merged with the third of our Munich breweries, Spaten, and a few years later they were both acquired by AB InBev. Spaten is sort of the runt of the litter of these big six. It's the one that most people, even most Munich locals, forget when they're asked to name the big six breweries. But if you remember a previous Pint Sized episode where we actually spoke about this brewery, you'll know that this reputation is hardly deserved. Brewer Gabriel Seldemeyer and his sons Joseph and Gabriel II pioneered the world of lager. They introduced the first amber beer at Oktoberfest in 1872, and they went on to invent equipment and processes that made lager what it is today. They could have done with a better logo though. I mean, we've had a crown, we've had a lion, and now we've got a spade. The monkingly awesome Augustiner brothers began brewing as early as 1328, making it the oldest brewery on our list. This is believed to be on the modern day site of the Augustiner Beer Hall. In 1803, the operation was taken from the monks and given to the state through secularization. The best news for the monks though? Their name remained, and still remains today. The Wagner family bought the brewery in 1829, and it remains in that family to the day. It is the pick of the big six for Munich locals. They regard it as the best beer that Munich produces, and it may be because of the underground spring that supposedly runs under the Augustiner brewery, since there is a well in the brewery that they use to pump up their own water. Paulaner is a close second to Augustiner for the best beers according to Munich locals, and it's got another brilliant monastery-based story. They fermented themselves into existence at the Neudeck Monastery in 1629 with the monks of the Order of St. Francis of Paula. God, he looks like he could do with laying off the Paulaner for a while. They brewed beer for their own consumption, except for on holidays, which is what brought Paulaner to everybody's attention, because everybody realised they make monkingly good beer. After privatisation in the 1800s, master brewer Francis Xavier Zacherl arrived on the scene and wanted to transform Paulaner into one of the biggest breweries in Bavaria. He introduced steam powered production and vast cooling cellars to deal with a massive amount of beer that he wanted to produce, and he did. He really put them on the map, and now they're well among the big six, if not the best in some people's opinion. Finally, it's Hacker-Pschorr. Sure it is. This is a consolidation of Hacker-Pschorr and Pschorr from the 1800s, although the company sort of already existed before then. Joseph Pschorr, once considered the king of Munich's brewers, had two sons who later went their separate ways and divided the brewing business into Pschorr and Hacker wings. Both brothers prospered and so did their brands. They became rivals, friendly rivals, until tragedy struck. A bombing raid shut down Pschorr's brewing works in 1944. Hacker, nicely, oh, is that nice? He let his rival, his brother, Pschorr, brew at his brewery using their equipment just for 2 days a week, until their equipment and their brewery was rebuilt and repaired. In 1972, the two breweries joined again to make Hacker-Pschorr. So there you have it, the big six. Hofbrau, Hacker-Pschorr, Augustiner, Paulaner, Löwenbräu, and... oh, that must be it, there isn't a sixth. They're the six breweries that lie within Munich city limits, and it's a shame that there isn't some sort of massive party where all the breweries can come together and sell their beer. They could hold it in October or something, call it, I don't know. There is. It's called Oktoberfest. It's actually held in September, and we're talking about it on the next episode of Beer Geek Germany. Remember to subscribe, comment, like us on Facebook, and follow me on Twitter at Ollie Hayden. I tweet about beer, science, and jokes and football and everything, so give me a follow and I'll follow you back. We'll see you next time for Beer Geek Germany Part 3, Oktoberfest. See you then.